So my name is Ryan Stewart. I live in Port Huron, Michigan, and I'm a career advisor at a virtual slash alternative high school. So I'm an academic life coach here, and yeah, born and raised in Michigan. Went to college here. Yeah. I was born and raised in Michigan. Spent most of my life here. Went to college here. Was a art major, photography major, basically. But I've lived in so many other places since then and before now. A big part of my life and big part of my story has been travel and going to other countries and other continents and such. My parents made that a point in me a long time, like in elementary school, to expose my brother and I to other cultures and to other places. And so yeah, they took us to these other places. They took us to Jamaica and Guatemala and Brazil, all before I even graduated high school, and much of the US even. And through that, I really kind of a seed was planted to explore, want to see, lots of other parts of the world and other cultures, and to see how other people live. And I've gotten a lot of perspective through that. To this point, I've been to, I think, 32 countries and 6 continents, and you just see a lot, and you see how the way we live in America is not the norm throughout the world. We've got it so much better in so many ways than so many other people in the world. And so that shaped me a lot. Just my worldview and how I see people and how I see America and see the rest of the world. In addition to traveling, a big part of my life has been ministry related, Christian ministry wise, and through this organization called Young Life, which is an outreach ministry to teenagers. And I was on the receiving end of that in high school. Done a lot of volunteering at their summer camps, and even been a volunteer leader with them at various times on my own, and done a lot of mission trips. A lot of traveling around the world has been through mission trips and doing outreach type things. And one of those, I did this trip called the World Race. It was a mission trip around the world in a year. And that just changed everything for me. I mean, you can imagine a literal trip around the world. I see, even to this day, I still see my life kind of in 2 pieces, before that trip and after. And, I learned so much that year about how to be a leader. And it sounds really elementary, but I learned how to talk to people that year. I learned how to relate to people. And learn how to meet people where they are. We all have unique stories. We all have unique journeys, and we're a product of our experiences. We're a product of our upbringing. We're a product of the people that we know in our culture. And I learned how to meet people in that, and how to talk to people in that. And that serves me well as a coach. That serves me well in the various outreach ministries I've done. It serves me well in every job I've had. As you talk to people and relate to people, and customer service, and so that's been a huge part of my story, traveling in ministry. And another huge part that I've kind of touched on already here is mentorship. And I mean, since high school, including high school and beyond, there's only been a few time windows, a few years or something, where I haven't had a mentor figure. And man, I cannot stress enough how important it is to have mentor figures in your life, and people to vent to, people to glean from, people to be strengthened by. I mean, uh, yeah, yeah. Um, in addition to, or kind of alongside the mentor comment, um, another part of my story too, kind of in relation to that, of people empowering me, and not just individuals, but also being in groups of like-minded people. You sometimes hear the the statement, iron sharpens iron. I think from Proverbs or something, somewhere in the Old Testament. But that concept has been huge for me as well. There was a time where I lived in a community in Georgia, through the organization I worked with, and it was a bunch of us living in community and working together, but we were intentional about sharpening each other. And through that season there, just strengthened and healed from things, and empowered. I keep coming back to that word, it seems like, but people identifying in things in me, things that they saw in me, and pointing that out. And I mean, a friend of mine, just in random conversation, I overheard her say about me that, Ryan, oh yeah, he's really relational. Just super simple statement, but up to that point, I'd never thought of myself as relational, never. And that was a catalyst for kind of my life since. And the vast majority of what I've done with my life, career-wise, ministry-wise, whatever, has been centered on relationships and meeting with people. But if she wouldn't have just said that simple little statement and me overhearing it, who knows how long it would have taken for me to realize that and do that. But yeah, been married for 4 years, have 2 twin daughters. We're almost 2. And that's a crazy adventure in and of itself. But that probably sums it up. I've always kind of had a knack for mentoring and discipleship and pouring into people and encouraging them to be more of who they were made to be. And so when I had kind of started to hear about coaching, I was a little bit intrigued. But then when I took this job as a career advisor almost 1.5 years ago, I don't remember how it came up, but I just started thinking about coaching again, and thinking about how, man, that would be a great asset, a greater tool to have in my belt to be able to serve our students well. I mean, a lot of our students are kind of at risk for various reasons, have had a tough go at life and may not have a ton of people in their corner or cheering them on. And so we've got a golden opportunity here at this school to be able to help them and propel them forward. And having coach expertise is just going to be able to allow me to help them more and more. So it looks like meeting with students on occasion. We're still kind of fleshing that out, how to go about that protocol-wise and procedure-wise. But I meet with students and I talk to them, I communicate with them, and I help them figure out what they should do with their life. And with that, coaching has been, skills I've learned through coaching have been a really great, just the whole concept of asking questions and powerful questions and being curious I've seen that applies to any conversation you're having with anybody, pretty much. And with these students, especially, who are trying to figure out what the heck they're going to do with their life. Just having that coaching expertise and skills in the back of my head during those conversations it's great, and it's invaluable to help me kind of coach them unofficially. They don't know it, but kind of coach them under the radar of, I think my vision with it would be to to create more and more of a system of meeting with students. Maybe it's, right at the beginning of their high school career, or, halfway through, and then right before they graduate, to be able to, I want to have more of a consistent journey with these students. Right now, and the position that I'm in here, created or career advisor at this school, it was created before, like, I'm the first person who's had this position at our school. So we're still kind of even fleshing out what my role is. So we don't have a lot of these procedures and stuff already set up. And so it's figuring it out as I go, or we go. And yeah, I just want to have more consistent communication with these students, and more of a consistent place in their life, and platform and credibility. And we don't have that yet, but I'm hopeful the more time that goes by, and the more I get my coaching feet underneath me, it'll. First of all, make sure you know what you're getting into. So kind of do your homework, do your due diligence. It can be easy to say, oh, go for it, do it. But, it's not going to be for everybody. So know what you're getting into. And then in addition to that, the same could be said for so many things in life, like experiences, relationships, whatever. You're going to get out of it what you put into it. And so I would encourage people wanting to become a coach, go all in, go all out, dive into it completely, give 100%. My 1.0 facilitator was great at encouraging that of, not only are you being trained to be a coach through this, but be a client too. Take advantage of the opportunity to be coached. And so, yeah, you're going to get out of it what you put into it. So you might as well do it wholeheartedly. Seek out mentors, and seek out people who will give you wisdom. I couldn't say enough about what mentors have meant to me in my life. I would not be anywhere close to who I am or doing what I'm doing now for mentors, and being able to glean off of their wisdom, and to be challenged by them, to be empowered by them, and for them to have identified things in me that they saw that I didn't necessarily see, and for them to call that out and point that out. And so, yeah, people younger than me, seek out mentors, find them, be persistent, and soak up all you can. Kind of the same thing. You're going to get out of it what you put into it. So it means to me empowerment and guiding transformation. So to elaborate on that, empowerment, coaching is empowerment because, as we guide them through the coaching process, and we guide them in a session or over the course of sessions, we're guiding them in being able to come up with their own solutions, their own answers. And I think in that we want to empower them, and we want to propel them forward. If they kind of come up with this realization or this discovery, affirm it and encourage them in it, and give them, go for it, keep going with that. That's a great discovery, or a great thing you just figured out. Keep going with that and build off of it. We want to, as coaches, we want to propel them forward, empower. That's at the foundation of it, I think. Yeah, it's changed, impacted me. It's just given me another valuable tool in my belt to be able to mentor and empower and encourage people. I feel like I've already had a knack for mentoring and empowering and discipling and stuff. I feel like that's something that God has created me to be. But this is having these coaching skills. It's just another tool. Helps me be that much more effective. But I think it's change impacted me too. It's just kind of solidified that, yeah, this is something that I was made to do. And, just kind of comes naturally in a lot of ways. And so that's, empowerment and encouragement for me, to continue to use these gifts, use these strengths, to bring good to the world and to help people be more of who they're made to be. I most learned about myself that my innate sense of curiosity, like I just have a natural curiosity about me. I want to know why this person's thinking this, or why this is going this way, or why this happened. And I never would have thought that would serve me well as a coach. So that was really pleasant to learn, to realize that, oh, curiosity is good, and it's a really great thing to have in this training. So I learned that about myself, that curiosity can be a really great thing. And I'd had some previous trainings about like inner healing, like Sozo and things like that. And where in those trainings, I learned about how to get to the root causes of things. And a lot of times the things that we see in people, things that we see in ourselves, behaviors or things like that, those are just symptoms of a deeper root cause. And just kind of learned through this process as well, that just kind of confirmed in me as well that, yeah, getting to those root causes are really valuable and really important in order to spur legitimate change and legitimate transformation. And so I just learned about myself through this training that this is something I should be doing, because a lot of this stuff is just kind of natural and in me already, and something that brings me a lot of life. So I think for anybody, things that we really enjoy and things that bring us a lot of life, I think God gave us those things because he wants us to use those, and he wants us to do those things in the world. And so just realizing more and more that, yep, this is something I need to do, something I was made to do. Yeah, some of my biggest influences, obviously parents. And I think that's true for everybody, whether better or for worse. We're all a product of our upbringing. And so, yeah, I wouldn't be who I am without their guidance growing up. As I've grown and as I've matured and everything over the years, and got to know more people in the world, and from great backgrounds and challenging backgrounds, the more and more I've realized and learned that I'm so grateful that I have the parents that I have. And yeah, so my parents, obviously, but that's kind of the cliche answer. But other than that, biggest influences are just, mentors, like I've talked about before. One of my main young life leaders in high school, named Joel. Oh my gosh, high school in and of itself is so formidable. We're so figuring out who we are, and having him as a guide and mentor and influence at that point was huge. And then I did a internship at a Young Life camp out in Oregon, and had a mentor out there named Craig, who was instrumental in so many different ways too, and helping me find more of who I am. And then one of my coaches not a life coach, but one of our coaches when I was on the world race, Gary, was so impactful as well. Helped me see more of the Holy Spirit, and how prevalent he is in the world right now. And just mentors, I can't stress it enough again, but mentors have been the biggest influence for sure. Nobody really stands out, honestly. I mean, I had good teachers. I didn't really have bad teachers or professors or anything necessarily, but there was not one or two teachers that like, oh, this person changed my life and really poured into me. It was all mentors that were outside of school. But at the same time, my art professors in college were great. They prepared me really well, but they taught me really well in that field. Yeah, but nobody real big impact. I was a teacher changed me. Yeah.